Mr. Sanborne, big
Bob's
things.
fine.
Bob's fine. Big things happening here at the Technical High School. Part of the Barnstable school system. You know, you have many towns here that are a part of the school. We're talking academics today with you and the direction that the school is going in. There's a new building on the horizon, going to be finished by 2020. Talk a little bit about how the school is meeting the 21st century needs of students and not duplicating efforts in other schools.
Yeah, we are, what we're trying to accomplish is, through our academy model going into the new school, is the integration of academic and technical programming to an extent that we haven't been able to deliver in the current facility. The academic programming is going to be right across the halls from each academy. So for example, the Transportation Academy, Auto Collision, Auto Tech, Marine Service Technology. The English teacher, the math teacher, the social studies teacher, and the science teacher are going to be right across the hall. That group, those teachers, and along with the technical teachers, are going to become a team. And we hope to see an integration that we aren't able to accomplish in this building, either academically to academically, the math and the social studies teacher, or the social studies and the English teacher, but also across the hall to the technical teachers. Because technical teachers have an amazing way of teaching kids on the job, doing things in the middle of the moment. And I think academic teachers can learn a tremendous amount from that. Vice versa, many of our technical teachers don't come in as trained teachers. They are expert in their content and in their technical trade, but they learn the craft of teaching over time. By osmosis and working as a team, I think that's going to improve both instructional modalities, both academic and technical. Not to mention the impact on the students in that academy, where you have a team of adults, they may not always like this, but a team of adults interested in them, concerned about them, and looking for the most achievement out of each and every student.
Right. When you talk about this, it's somewhat of a model of a cohort that you would find in upper, higher learning. So with that being said, having these students and these teachers together, are they going to be together for all of those years so they'll really literally become a community?
Predominantly. We know as we get into the planning stages, we had visioning sessions 2-3 years ago, and it was quite utopian. But now as the rubber's hitting the road, there's things we do want them to move around the building. Right. But predominantly they're going to be spending time in their transportation academy or their construction academy or their STEAM academy. That's where most of the bulk of certainly on their technical time they will, just like they do here in the current building. But a lot of their academics will be provided in that area. But if you need to take chemistry, you're going to have to take chemistry where it's offered. So there's still going to be some movement around the building. But it's that team of teachers and of caring adults that are monitoring those kids in the academy. Whether they're moving around or not, that's one thing. But when they meet in their professional learning time, they're going to be talking about kids, talking about student achievement, talking about how's Johnny doing, how's Mary doing, you know, what's working with you. You know, you have teachers who are very successful with kids, and then another teacher just down the hall is having a problem. They can talk about that and work it out, and the kids can't pull their wool over their eyes too, because they're talking all the time and integrating curriculum.
Right. Let's talk a little bit about curriculum.
Yep.
It's changed over the years.
Yep.
Shops have come and gone.
Yep.
What's the current plans for this new school, and what will you have for your academies?
Sure. What we did is we looked at all 17 of our programs, and after the envisioning was done, we looked at, okay, what does our programming look like, and what should we be going forward with? What we found is we really should be going forward with most of what we offer, with regards to wage and labor statistics, with regards to outcomes, with regards to graduate follow-up study, with wages. You know, we did a report on all 17 programs on 6 or 7 factors. And then we chose 7 programs to take a closer look at. Fast forward, we discontinued 2 programs by a vote of our curriculum subcommittee. And unfortunately, 2 great programs will not be in this new facility, and that's early childhood education and welding. So, but the statistics And the report that we did showed that the other 15 programs, the job prospects are very good, the wages are very good, well into the future. And I think you've heard of the skills gap.
Right.
Many of the programs that we offer are addressing the skills gap. And the skills gap, if people don't know, is aging out. The electricians, plumbers, carpenters, HVAC technicians, just to name a few, are aging out of that profession, and we have devalued working with your hands for so long that, and pushing college, which I would think to the detriment of our economy and to some students, that it's time to reinvest and educate people on the quality job prospects for students in the trades and in the programs that we offer.
Right. The trades are actually really important to
Yeah.
the Cape.
Yeah.
Home building, renovation, remodeling are probably some of the jobs that you see now that are well-paying. How do you make some of the other ones, though, like HVAC, kind of sexy for the kids? Like, how do you get, I want to be an air conditioning technician?
Well, I got a funny story. HVAC was on the brink of possibly being discontinued several years ago. Never got to the point of that we were going to discontinue it, but enrollment was low, and outcomes weren't great, and we got a new teacher. It's all about the teacher. It is now our #1 program in this school, and that's a tribute to Sean Doyle is the name of the teacher. And by the way, we're looking for another one. Talk about trying to find a needle in a haystack is to try to find an HVAC teacher. So we are looking.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's the toughest because they're so overworked right now they have no time to teach it.
exactly. The other thing that makes it sexy is when students in their 11th and 12th grade year can go out into the community and work and earn a paycheck of $15, $17, $18, $19 an hour while in high school. And those wages just go up from there in that industry because they are desperate for help.
So I know you have a traditional cosmetology for women. Are you seeing more enrollment for young girls into some of these or what would have been considered non-traditional skills in the future here? Is that a goal?
Well, in discontinuing our early childhood education program, which was predominantly female, non-traditional is a big word around here. Every year we have a non-traditional fair where we bring in, if in the case of non-traditional shops that are traditionally male, we bring in females that are in the industry working, and vice versa, because there are programs where, cosmetology, for example, where the non-traditional is a male. So, and we have to report on that on a yearly basis, and we've made some inroads on that. It's difficult because you're dealing with stereotypes and long-held beliefs about who should be in what profession, but we work very hard to break that all down. And we're having success, especially in the construction trades, and I think that's partially due to the fact that parents now know that those are good jobs, good paying jobs. And we're seeing more females in auto tech, and in HVAC in particular, we've seen 3, 4 females in that trade. It's a little more difficult on the flip side, but we continue to work on it because we are measured by the amount of non-traditional students in our technical program. So that is a big focus for us here.
Excellent. You went through the whole process to get the money through school committee, obviously dealing with multiple towns. Talk a little bit about what it meant to actually get that passed. That was a long haul on your part to try to educate a community that might not even be familiar with the school, that knowing that it was part of our school system here in the town of Barnstable.
It was a big process, but it was in the end a very goosebump inducing process when the vote total came in. I don't know if you remember, but it was 3-1, and 75% of the people backed the building of a new school here. And I first of all need to say thank you again for that. It was about information, I believe. We were out 3 to 4 times to the towns from the beginning to the end. And even before we got into the MSBA program, we brought our leaders, our town managers in and saying, it's coming. It was like in November and we got in January, I think of 15. So it was constant communication where when we had options, when we chose our option, when the construction budget come in, when the construction budget came down, when we got some additional money from, thanks to our Cape and Islands delegations, to recognize the students who are economically disadvantaged in our school. It was just a constant effort of communication and information. And then I'm not under any illusion. I mean, we did work hard to get that passed, and I thank the voters, but it's 45 years of this building doing right by students, I think, and a lot of people that preceded me. I mean, and then all the people you run into in the community when you go to a boatyard, when you go to an auto service place, you know, or a landscaping company, you're going to meet our graduates, and they're predominantly staying on Cape, feeding the local workforce, and ultimately buying a home, which is becoming a very difficult thing to do on Cape Cod, but they earn wages that can make them do that.
Excellent. I think I'll finish up this particular piece of the interview with the question of school choice.
Yes.
So it's cutthroat and competitive. I don't see any other words for that right now. The dollar for the student. How does Cape Tech set themselves apart for school choice?
Well, just to take a step back, we're an application school, so every student that comes here fills out an application. They apply. So we're not in the school choice program. That's not to say that school choice hasn't affected us. Right. Because, so just to finish the application, every student applies. The sending districts send their 7th and 8th grade records with their attendance, their grades, and their discipline. There's a formal interview, and then that's scored. So that's how we operate. We start every year with an enrollment of 0 for our freshman class. So how is school choice and also charter schools has turned this into, as you say, a cutthroat, very I call it hyper competitive. It is to the detriment, I believe, of students in some points, the amount of competition that's going on. What we ask from Cape Cod Tech's perspective is let them see the place. That's not always true. We spend a tremendous amount of time getting the word out here from social media, radio advertising, direct mail, and going to them, and tours, I'm sorry, to get the word out. We do spend a good amount of money on that. There's no doubt about it, because it is more cutthroat than it used to be. There's only one district in my district that allows every student to see this place.
Wow.
And that's Nauset.
Yep.
So Barnstable does allow the interested students, but it used to be that every student saw them. The one thing that sending districts do need to give us is their mailing labels and their mailing addresses, so that's how we can communicate with prospective students. But as charter schools and school choice is expanded, and now it's at full scale, right. The willingness of sending districts to let every student see this school has diminished. So it's extremely competitive.
It certainly is. So you want to take me out to the construction site?
I go out there every day, Paula. So I'd love to go out there.
Excellent.
So let's go get our hard hats.
All right, thanks.